Excellency, President Adam Barrow, President of the Republic of the Gambia, Chair of the 15th Islamic Summit, Your Royal Highness, Your Highness Prince Faisal bin Farhan, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Your Majesties, Excellencies, and Highnesses, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. At the outset, I would like to express my heartfelt congratulations to His Excellency Mr. Adam Barrow, President of the Republic of the Gambia, and to the government and people of the Gambia on the significant occasion of the Gambia's assumption of the presidency of the 15th Islamic Summit, wishing them every success. And for the summit's success,
en vue de la réussite des assises de l'honneur et les signes au terme du mandat de présidence par le Royaume d'Arabie Saoudite du 14e sommet islamique.
At the close of the summit, led by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, I wish to express our gratitude to the custodian of the two mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, and the Crown Prince, His Royal Highness Prince Mohammed bin Salman Al Saud, Chairman of the 14th Summit. May Allah preserve them and grant them support for all the actions they have done at the head of the Islamic Summit, and also for the success that you have noted for the benefit of our organization since its establishment, so as to allow it to fulfill its noble mission. This is the sum of a rich action and initiatives that has been undertaken at the local and international level with full commitment and concretization of the principle of Islamic solidarity and commitment in favor of Islamic common and joint action. We are confident that the Republic of the Gambia will follow during its mandate the footsteps of the 14th session in the process and the full commitment that is well recognized by all of us in favor of joint Islamic action and in defense of the causes of Islamic Ummah. Your Highnesses, Your Excellencies, Honorable ladies and gentlemen, the present Islamic Summit comes within a context of serious and grave developments, unprecedented ones, particularly regarding the cause of Palestine, and particularly the persistent crimes and brutal military aggression on the part of the Israelis against the Palestinian defenseless people, particularly in the Gaza Strip, along with the colonial policies and the ethnic cleansing and the actions against the city of Jerusalem and the attacks that constitute in their totality war crimes. And call upon the international community to put an end to the aggression against the Palestinian people and put an end to the policies of occupation perpetrated by Israel, and to demand that they recognize the international legitimacy and the state of Palestine, that the Palestinians may accede to the statute of full member of the United Nations. We need to mobilize action in favor of the rights of the Palestinian people, particularly their right to return, and the mobilization and establishment of their independent state on the lines of June 1967, with Al-Quds as its capital in conformity with the pertinent and relevant resolutions of the United Nations and the Peace Initiative of the Arab League. Honorable participants, the right to self-determination of Jammu and Kashmir constitutes as well a priority for our organization. We give particular attention, and the representative of Kashmir, Yusuf Muhammad Bey, our envoy to Jammu and Kashmir, has ensured the follow-up of this issue, particularly through the multiple visits that he has paid to Jammu and Kashmir and to the Islamic Republic of Pakistan in order to take cognizance of the situation and to report thereon in implementation of the resolution of the Islamic Summit and the Council of Foreign Ministers. In parallel, given the reports, the contact group on Jammu and Kashmir. With regard to the follow-up of the situation in Afghanistan, the OIC has fulfilled its commitment to the humanitarian approach and the constructive dialogue with the de facto authority in conformity with the relevant resolutions of the United Nations Security and the Foreign Ministers Conference. I here call upon all member states to contribute generously to the fund, the endowment set up for the benefit of Afghanistan under the supervision and management of the Islamic Development Bank, which has developed enormous and commendable efforts in order to ensure the establishment of the fund and to continue action to face up to the challenges met by the Afghani people. With regard to the constructive dialogue with the de facto authority in Afghanistan, my special envoy, His Excellency Ambassador Tariq Baghit, has followed up and continued his visits to Afghanistan and his coordination with the member states, not only with the international organizations, particularly the United Nations. And in this framework, these efforts have meant that we have dispatched missions of ulama, scholars, and together with the Human Rights Independent Commission of the OIC for the development of women, to discuss issues of education of women and work for women. We hope that these efforts will be continued with the holding of a broader meeting of scholars together with their colleagues from Afghanistan under the auspices of the Islamic Fiqh Academy and in coordination with the General Secretariat of the OIC. Your Highnesses, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the ordeal followed by certain member countries, I have in mind Libya, Yemen, Sudan, the Sahel region, dialogue and reconciliation are the only means that would enable us to resolve these problems so that these countries may guide their steps towards stability and prosperity and development. The preservation of the territorial integrity and the sovereignty of our member states is a fundamental issue for us. I wish here to pay special tribute to all the member states that have taken initiatives to deploy efforts in favor of the peaceful settlement of the situation in some of our countries by encouraging the parties concerned to get together around the negotiation table. Moreover, the political situation remains the only pathway to remedy the current crises and to continue preventing problems and ensure development through peaceful means, particularly through mediation, which is an objective for our organization that is used to strengthen our capacities in these fields. In conformity with the resolutions of the Islamic Summits and the Council of Foreign Ministers, our organization has pursued its support for the sovereignty of the Republic of Azerbaijan over all its territories, as well as the unity of the Federal Republic of Somalia and its independence, its sovereignty and its security. We in addition to our solidarity with the Cypriot Turks, in parallel with our support for Bosnia-Herzegovina and Kosovo and the defense of well-being and dignity and integrity and religious and cultural freedom of the communities in non-member states, particularly through constructive dialogue with the authorities of many of the members of the countries in question. On the other hand, I cannot fail, Mr. Chairman, to hail the avant-gardist role played by your country, the Gambia, in the defense of the Muslim community in Rohingya towards the International Criminal Court. I wish to appeal to all member states to extend every support in this regard. I wish to reiterate also our profound gratitude to the People's Republic of Bangladesh and other member states for hosting refugees from Rohingya. Your Excellencies, the struggle, the fight against terrorism and extremism constitute an item on our consistent agenda. Our fight against religious hatred continue to call for action for the action against these challenges. The profanation of the Quran also represent a major challenge that call for our continued action within our organization. Several meetings have taken place, as a matter of fact, that have resulted in important resolutions. Also, the organization and its member states have undertaken various initiatives at the international level. Foremost of its results has been the proclamation by the General Assembly of the United Nations on the 15th of March as an International Day for the fight against Islamophobia. The implementation of the results of the CFM resolutions and the Executive Committee that have called for the designation of special envoy regarding the fight against Islamophobia. I would like to inform your august assembly that my consultations have reached to the designation of Dr. Mehmed Fafasi as such, as an envoy. I would like you to approve this designation. We shall continue to cooperate with the international community in order to fight against the intolerance and discrimination and hatred, and to promote interreligious dialogue, intercultural dialogue as well. At the legal level, the General Secretariat is following with its efforts. And thus, the number of states that have ratified the Charter of the OIC has reached 40. And it's our hope that the ratification of the amendment, according to which periodicity of the Islamic Summit has moved from 3 to 4 years for the Islamic Summit. Also, actions are continued for the impact on the work of the OIC. I would like also to underline the importance and the finalization of the signing and ratification of all the legal instruments of the OIC, bearing in mind that some of the organs and important institutions of the organization have not yet seen the light on account of the non-achievement of the legal quorum for the institution. In another context, regarding the status of observer at the organization has reached higher numbers from governmental and non-governmental organizations. I exhort all member states to come out with an appropriate formula to follow favorably the demands or the candidacies for such status. At the institutional and organic level, the General Secretariat continues to coordinate with the Islamic Development Bank and the Islamic Center for the Development of Trade their action for the creation of mechanisms to settle differences for the benefit of the Islamic Ummah within the framework of the OIC's action for the protection of investments. Also, the global reform of the organization should help us call for meetings for the benefit of the reform so as to achieve the aspired goals within the legal framework. The General Secretariat is doing its utmost with the contribution of the State of Kuwait to consolidate and approve the necessary means to approve and to reach the quorum so that the International Court of Justice may enter into action at the Islamic level. We have in mind the catastrophes and difficulties that have been witnessed in recent years that have reached higher levels that have resulted in greater levels of poverty and precarity in certain member states. I'd like to call on you to step up efforts in order to finance humanitarian action within the framework of our organization and its various organs and institutions. I therefore appeal to this August Assembly and the member states to make donations for the benefit of the Islamic Solidarity Fund as a humanitarian branch of the OIC in order to enable them to give full assistance to the affected countries. The General Secretariat and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia are working together for the convening of the Conference of Donors for the region, for the benefit of the Sahel and Lake Chad region. I dare rely on all the member states in this conference to contribute generously to this action. Within the framework of science and technology and health and environment, we call for the optimal usage of modern technologies to face up to the challenges and to ensure optimal appropriate solutions at the levels of the various countries and the protection of the environment. The General Secretariat's organs are doing its utmost in order to build up their efforts for greater cooperation between the member states to take up the challenges regarding environment and climate change. At the cultural level, we are working in close cooperation with the member states and the various OIC institutions for the organization of cultural important events and to encourage the convening of multidisciplinary festivals aimed at intensifying consolidated cooperation, bearing in mind the cultural diversity of the Islamic world, and to celebrate the rich cultural heritage of our countries. Within the framework, we give particular attention to youth and sports and the promotion of their good well-being within the OIC. We have created a special department within the General Secretariat of the OIC to handle such issues. Our organization is continuing its action for the promotion of and the preservation of the rights and values and the institution of the family and marriage within the various aspects, and we call upon all the international fora to help us in that respect, to build up the rights of women, children, old people, and specific needs people in various fields. In terms of training, the various institutions of the Islamic Ummah, we have called for the restructuring of various institutions regarding INA, the Information and Radio Television Institution, ISBU, in collaboration with the relevant Permanent Organization for Cultural Affairs, COMIAC, and other similar institutions interested in information. On the other hand, the organizations launched a call for a media observatory at the level of the General Secretariat to expose the actions taken against the Palestinians in the occupied territories. We have called for a legal observatory in implementation of the resolution taken by the extraordinary summit that was held in Riyadh on 11th November 2022. In that regard, honorable ladies and gentlemen, in the field of socio-economic sustainable development, we have given priority to these effects in the intra-OIC cooperation. We have paid particular attention for the creation of the necessary required mechanism for multilateral cooperation. In this regard, I would like to express satisfaction with the launch since 1st of June 2022 a mechanism for the consolidation of cooperation such as to help us achieve the targeted level of intra-Islamic trade of 22% by the year 2025. We are also proud of the establishment of the Labor Center in Baku that would help greater cooperation in the field of health, security, employment, and capacity building and social protection in the member states. At another level of action, we are satisfied with the help and offers put in for the establishment of a program, a 10-year program that will end by the year 2025. We fully rely on the full participation of the member states for the establishment of more programs for the years 26-36. Your Excellencies, allow me on this occasion to remind ourselves of the particular importance of the payment of contributions to the budget of the General Secretariat and subsidiary organs, and also the settlement of their arrears that have been accumulated over many years. I'm thankful to the member states that are fully contributing regularly and call upon the other member states to redouble their efforts so as to enable the organization to fulfill its commitments and concretize the activity programs as elaborated by the member states. Regarding the report that is before you, that deals with all issues and the way in which the organization is handling these matters, we look forward to your decisions concerning the following stages to be followed in order to go forward on the path of the achievement of the objectives of our organization and to respond to the aspirations of the member states and to strengthen the organization's role at the international scene. In conclusion, I wish your proceedings full success for the strengthening of our solidarity, our joint action. Thank you for your kind attention. Wassalam.